Hello, welcome back to the channel where I hold a microphone at first, but it's never plugged in. So, question for all of you out there. My audience seems to be around my age, 25 to 40-ish area. And since most of us are adults, I would love for you guys to answer this in the comment section. You guys know not to inappropriately touch children. Do you also know not to send them your unmentionables, like your underwear, lingerie, in the mail? Right? You also know not to start a chat group with 12, 13, 14-year-olds and ask them their favorite sexual position. We all know that as adults. I think we know when we're children that an adult doing that is suspicious, creepy, and gross. Let me say that in the microphone.
We know that, right?
Especially because we all grew up watching Chris Hansen.
Yeah, tonight. Who's this? I'll get to that in a minute. Who are you? Who are you? You tell me first. Can I eat first? Sure, go ahead.
It's odd. Yeah, we can all agree. Well, some people don't know that. I made sure to put a little reminder here for anyone who doesn't.
Please don't touch the children.
You gross freaks. Let's start today's video because it's a creepy YouTuber vid. It's creepy. Let's start. Colleen Ballinger, YouTuber, comedian, mother, and very similar to Beyonce. She has an alter ego called Miranda Sings.
Hello from the other side. I must go.
That's the whole bit. Miranda wears red lipstick and sings badly. Y'all, another YouTuber has broken the internet once again, being exposed as the creepiest YouTuber of 2023. What a title, congratulations. Before we start this deep dive, can I please ask you to leave me a comment if you haven't already? And if you did, thank you so much. It really helps out the video. And if you don't know what to say, it can be as simple as "Stop talking!" In all caps. Say it with your chest because I'm gonna be saying a lot today with my chest. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It is free and I'm trying to get to 650,000 subscribers and I need your help. So thank you for everything, for being here, for hitting the subscribe button and leaving me a comment. Now, on to you. Looking a freak. So I know who Colleen is, but I don't really know who Colleen Ballinger is. I recognize the makeup, but she's not someone that I watched in my youth. I know that she was extremely popular. She's on the same level as Shane Dawson. That's all I know, is that she's one of the original OG YouTubers who got so many subscribers, grew pretty quickly, and just got really popular. And people were hitting the subscribe button for her for content like this.
How do you dance at parties? Like this. What's your favorite model pose? This one. The fun thing about this look is that it can go along with the look we just did.
And now there's an outpour of Colleen exposed videos, and I got very interested that this OG child YouTuber or person that makes content for children is now being outed as a creepy creepster. So in this Colleen Ballinger review video, we are going to figure out all the dirty controversies that have been surrounding this YouTube star. Who is Colleen Ballinger, and was Miranda just a character or a mask to use to be able to be inappropriate with underage children? That is the question we are asking today. Let's find out. Colleen grew up in Santa Barbara, California, and states that her family was not rich.
You grew up in Santa Barbara.
Yes.
That's a cool place to grow up. So you grew up rich.
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I did not. I did grow up in Santa Barbara.
Okay.
And I did not grow up rich.
Okay.
We actually had a hard time
Oh.
growing up. Not crazy hard. We were fine. We were happy. But yeah, my family did not have money growing up. But you would think that, hearing that I'm from Santa Barbara, because that is where people like Oprah and Ellen live.
Many people believe that she lied about being rich, and Santa Barbara is a very wealthy area, and her critiques say she just kind of needed a rags to riches story. People love that. No one likes someone that started out rich and then is still rich. I personally don't really care. I'm here to critique the touching of little children. So you don't have to worry about that with me, Miranda. I don't care if you have money. I care if you're doing that, or vocalizing that you want to do that, or asking if kids have done that on the internet. Colleen as a kid would always be singing and performing for her family. Her grandpa introduced her to the arts and musical theater, so her passion grew intensely.
My grandpa always has the best best jokes, and he sings. He's the best grandpa in the world. I adore him.
Around the age of 11, she wanted to take professional photos to be a model, but was suddenly met with a hairdresser that bullied her. She started feeling ugly and stupid, and this was her first time running into someone who had deliberately tried to bring her down and make her feel awful. Her whole plan at 11 was to take these pictures to make her feel confident, and this was slashed by her hairdresser's comments poking fun at her unibrow and frizzy, poofy hair, clothes, and body. That is a lot for an 11-year-old, especially if they haven't experienced such, negative comments before, especially on their appearance as they are embarking into puberty and all these weird things are happening with their body. And then an adult says a lot of rude things about your already sensitive outlook on yourself. I don't want to make this video about me, obviously, but I have to insert myself into the story because I am relating to it. I looked a lot older when I was younger. I went through puberty at I think 10 years old or 11 years old. And so I had hips, I had boobs, and a lot of older women would be very rude to me because they thought I was older, and so they thought I was a threat. I was gonna take their husband. I was 12 or 13. And let me tell you, older women who are insecure are ruthless. I still remember comments that I would get from older women who didn't know that I was 12 or 13, that if I saw them in the streets today, I would say something. Going forward, Colleen was homeschooled during her middle school years, but eventually she entered high school and the bullying turned physical. She'd get punched in the face, locked in the boys' bathroom, shoved into the trash can. Colleen would eat alone, didn't have many friends, and got bullied for how skinny her body was. The only place that she felt safe was at home or hiding out in the theater room while eating lunch. She would then start college at Uzusa. How did I say Uzu? There's an A, Michelle, my God. Azusa Pacific University. Boom. According to Colleen, the girls in the performance arts classes were very cocky and thought very highly of their talent, so much so they would post their videos on YouTube hoping to get famous. Colleen thought it was hilarious because their singing was not very good, so Colleen began to mock the other girls, singing too sharp or too flat to amuse her friends, and eventually made a character out of the performance. And on that day in 2007, Miranda was born. She was unleashed into the world. Miranda was confident, loud, quirky, likable, vibrant, pushed the barriers and the limits, and of course, a little inappropriate at times. She couldn't sing well, but it doesn't matter because everyone can technically sing, well or not.
It's going to be fun there when I'm wearing a hula skirt and we are there at the spam.
Thus came Miranda Sings, an apparently very different persona from the shy Colleen who would get bullied before her college years. Her Miranda stereotype of a girl who thinks she can sing and put videos on the internet seemed to be a character that displayed a lot of inappropriate ways of acting around people through being raunchy and using it as a comedic relief. And many people are saying Colleen is using Miranda as an excuse to bully, abuse, and be downright gross and creepy.
Well, I played a character for many years, and I got to piggyback on his ego and pretend it wasn't mine.
Yes.
Do you ever mean what she's saying?
Yes, all the time.
Unlike her persona Miranda, Colleen could sing very well and eventually landed a job working for Seussical the Musical. Though Miranda, the persona, did really well online, Colleen ended up scoring a job for Disneyland because of her voice. She performed in a high school musical parade as herself, Colleen Ballinger. But her time there was short-lived as she got fired because of her Miranda Sings persona on YouTube. Disney don't play that. They want you pure and innocent looking, not raunchy and lipstick all a mess. After being fired from Disneyland, she kept on going with the Miranda Sings on YouTube. She was soon one of the top YouTubers and then discovered by someone in New York to make a one-woman show. Her dream. She performed live shows in New York City to sing badly on purpose, even though she was a very well-trained singer. Colleen was no longer Colleen. She became Miranda Sings on her YouTube and on stage. And once her live shows took off, her YouTube just soared. And who was watching her? Mostly children. She makes most of her money off her live shows, but she wanted more, so she ended up pitching her show, Haters Back Off, to Netflix. And they said, no. But then people from Netflix went to her live shows. They saw the excitement, how well it was doing, how she was on stage by herself. So she ended up pitching them again. And she got that show on Netflix. It ran for 2 seasons and nobody really liked it.
The usual? I just uploaded a video to the internet. Can't wait to go home and see it.
It's real good.
So the show was having a hard time on Netflix because the character that was not likable, and usually you want the main character to be likable, lovable in some sort, and this was the main character. And she had amazing views on YouTube, but the issue is that a lot of her fan base who goes to her shows, watches her YouTube, are children, and the show on Netflix was aimed for adults.
What? You people are monsters. You have lipstick on your teeth? I would never put lipstick on that. It could get infected.
I'm sorry, I'm a whole ass wrong. Apparently, this was under the kids tab, so I'm guessing when it was on the TV, parents were probably like, turn this off. And most adults that I know don't watch this.
Well, if that's love, it comes that much too high.
Miranda is also a writer. She currently has about 2 books out that target, once again, children.
It teaches you how to draw a hot dog when it's supposed to look like a vagina. The 5th step is to add ketchup. And I wanted ketchup on the page, but we forgot to add it. And so, because I wanted it to look like a nasty vagina with blood on it.
Miranda still does live shows as of today all over the USA. Makes quite a bit of pretty pennies. But now, it's time for that controversy. So her fake persona, Miranda, started to leak into her everyday, real life, sweet-natured, real body, character, person. Miranda started overtaking Colleen, according to people. Colleen would start making very creepy and weird Twitter posts that had people going,
what?
Here, I have my phone, I screenshot a few. There's a lot, but I got the most questionable ones. So let me know if you guys catch on to a theme here. Oh my gosh, the public restrooms I'm in smells like rape. Gagging. All right, cookies, go follow Harvey Gillian. He's hilarious, and you should all rape him with love. Everyone at Joshua D-Town with love and hugs right now. Love you, baby. Joshua and I were sweetly talking of our love for each other, and then that rancid smell of my silent fart raped us. I think I ruined the moment. Thank God you're here. Grandma's been raped. So obsessed. Definitely got a type of joke she likes to tell.
Oh, I was gonna rape you, but if you're into the covers, that is way too much work. Sweet dreams.
And there's a lot more just odd jokes. We're gonna talk about the Adam video soon, and he kind of covered everything, but we're not there yet in this video. But when I first about, people were bringing up her Twitter and whatnot, and people were saying, there's these jokes out here, and I was like, it was early 2000s, like we joked about weird shit back then, and we were a lot raunchier with our jokes, and then I saw those, and I'm a believer of you can joke about whatever you want, but you probably have to deal with, as most comedians do, some people not thinking it's funny. For me, not my type of joke. It seems very cheap, as she is just trying to put in the intense word, and the joke is just the shock value of the word. And since her audience is 10 and she's 30 with lipstick all over her face, they will think it's funny. But maybe not my type of humor. Is it yours? Let us know in the comments section. We'd love to know who thinks that was hilarious. Go ahead, tell us. Colleen did. Okay, I think it's time for the fat phobia. People were saying she's fat phobic. Let's look into that. So I guess there was a moment where Colleen would be talking about a very obese Asian woman with facial hair that would sit next to her on an airplane, and she was really focusing on her fat rolling into her seat. And you guys know how I feel about that. If I pay for a seat on an airplane, I want to pay for my seat. I don't want to pay for your butt cheeks, your rolls, your arm into my seat. But many people were saying that she's just too aggressive with how she was explaining it. Here's the clip. You let me know what you think.
So then they're about to close the doors to the airplane, and who walks on? An extremely obese Asian woman with facial hair. Please don't sit next to me. Please don't sit next to me. And I turn around, and there are no open seats on the plane. So of course she comes and sits right next to me and on me, and her fat rolls are rolling over onto me.
Animal abuse. In a video, Colleen claimed she had anger issues as a child. Her family had a family dog, and she decided to hurt the dog. What do dogs do or animals do when they feel threatened or someone is hurting them? They bite them.
So I grabbed my dog for no reason, just grabbed the dog and pinched its skin and dug my nails into it. The dog yelps, turns around to protect itself, and bites me in the face. And I got stitches and went to the hospital, and they were like, what happened? And I was like, the dog just bit me. And then they had to put the dog to sleep because the dog was dangerous to be around. So I a dog.
I guess she was a kid. I find that creepy, you know, when children hurt animals, but she was a child, and children lie because they're probably scared. But as an adult, as a 30-something-year-old who's telling the story, she fucking laughed about it. I would feel like the most shittiest person in the world. So people like to point out that she still continues to abuse her animals, using her cats as props, which to me, it's fine. I mean, they're part of the family. I love using my dogs in my skits, but I make sure that they feel very comfortable.
I'm trying to do a tutorial. Stay there. I have to teach them how to do this. It's for YouTube.
Whenever you see my dogs and anything, there's tons of treats, and if they don't feel comfortable or they're communicating to me that they don't like something, we scrap it. But in a lot of Colleen's clips, she is showing that she will push and do these annoying things to her cats that make them react in a way telling her no, and she thinks it's funny, it's just a joke.
Ow! Stop it. Trying to do an experiment. Are you cutting in half yet? Stop biting me. Stop biting me. I have to cut you in half. It's for YouTube. Stop it. Ah! Don't bite me.
Oh my God, Colleen and Todrick Hall. What the fuck? Okay, so there is a story or a thing trending of Todrick and Colleen bothering this homeless person in a laundromat because here's the joke, they're homeless and poor.
So we're at the laundromat. This is our next location.
There's someone, we're disturbing their slumber. Guys, don't let this happen to you, okay? She woke up. She woke up. She's
But you know, when you're a celebrity or a YouTuber, it's fine to go film a homeless person and make fun of them while they literally have
nothing.
Dang it, Todrick. I was avoiding all of those videos saying that he's actually a mean person in real life and he thinks very, very highly of himself because, you know, I bebop to his music. I mean, have you guys heard the Witch song?
You got the wrong bitch. You got the wrong bitch.
Very, very good. But even though he's good at music, doesn't mean he's a good person. I'm very sad that I saw that. Why do this? What did it give to you? Poor. But recently, very, very serious controversy has hit the internet. A man named Adam, a very young YouTuber who used to be a super fan, a mega fan of Colleen and Miranda, actually he was employed by Colleen, is coming out with information, receipts, and his experience that he had with Colleen, and people are pissed. Adam is exposing her for many things she has done, the content she posts on YouTube, and a lot of sexual jokes.
Colleen Ballinger has a section, hate sexual activity, sexual experience with a fan, my favorite sex noise, Corey's package, in brackets, X-rated, I pee on myself, sleeping with my boyfriend, or I show you my panties. We also have a clip here from one of her videos with her sister Rachel, where she is getting Rachel to basically like deep throat a microphone while her nephew Parker, who is a literal baby, is sitting watching all of it happen.
And the weird jokes that she makes is more uncomfortable because she knows, and we know, everyone knows that her content and the people that watch her, the majority of people, are children.
Miranda? What were you doing with him?
Fun times with friends.
I think you were violating him.
A lot of sexual imagery, a lot of sexual innuendos.
I like it when I can cup things.
And I like mine a little bigger. You know you have a nice one when you give it a pat and it bounces back. Can I smack yours?
Please. How does it feel?
It feels firm.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Go ahead and give it a nice full tug.
Spooky. Jeff was saying that the internet was making my head so big I couldn't even fit through the back door anymore.
It wasn't enjoyable with your head so big, Olivia.
Yeah. We used the back door because Sam's pussy tries to escape through the front.
Once again, full on knowing her audience is young. So is it wrong to put up legally? No, because YouTube, I'm not too sure. At least back then, you know, YouTube didn't have the, is this content made for kids? Now they ask that question before we upload. Back then, YouTube was like, is this content for kids? No, actually, don't answer that. Just upload it. It's fine.
How fun. Look at this nice long slit for the mouth.
Oh, it's so lifelike. Look at that nose.
So Colleen's character, Miranda, makes a lot of inappropriate comments, we know that, but there was specifically one about an uncle doing things like wearing a daddy saddle and she would ride him.
Uncle Jim, get on the ground! Okay, hit it!
She would display how the uncle hugs her as she lays flat on the ground.
Where this position is called the uncle, and it's heavily implied that it's very inappropriate. It was like the yoga challenge or something like that. The position's called the uncle, and it's pretty self-explanatory what she's going for here, and especially now that we know what she thinks of the relationship as Miranda, just very bizarre behavior, and especially stuff that like directly violates YouTube's terms of service.
Once again, children watch this. He would also later show up in her Netflix show doing very weird things like putting on her lipstick for her, close to her face, making sexual innuendos about squirting frosting on her cinnamon buns.
All right.
Oh, the cream shot out of my package. Sorry.
Well, that's all right. It landed on my buns. I like them extra sticky.
Well, if you squeeze harder, more will come out.
Oh, good idea. Hey, you guys.
It's giving how, I can't think of the name, I'm so horrible with names, but I know you guys would know who I'm talking about. That guy from Nickelodeon who had a thing with feet, and so we would always have the young girls take their feet out and like slap peanut butter on it or kiss their foot or something, and people, and like when we would watch it when we were younger, we were like, oh my god, this is so funny, there's feet out, but he was getting weird sexual pleasure from 13, 14-year-olds with their feet out. Oh, and then he did a thing where he would squirt stuff on their face too. Oh, remember when I brought up Shane Dawson? Well, he even said, Colleen, just watch the 2015 interview.
Colleen is the best because she needs 10 of these fans. She is the most hateful, shadiest. I love her. Like, whenever we hang out, literally the first words out of her mouth are, okay, like, what do you got? Who do you hate? Who's next? Like, just going in on everybody. I love it. So good at being nice to, like, she'll do collabs with every YouTuber, and they think, like, I'm like Colleen's best friend, and then we get together, and I do the same thing, but then we'll get together, and oh, man. They only knew.
Oh, and then I found these weird thumbnails. Like, what is that? Why do you need that? How to Write a Child, which she now changed to babysitting after the backlash. Someone tell Miranda, Colleen, and her people that it's still in the description. The comments are pretty cool though. Lucky kid, thanks for showing us. But this is her character. She's always super edgy. Let's see what's on Colleen's normal profile. Edible underwear challenge with my sister. Girl on girl action with a kid in the thumbnail and sexy pole dance. Once again, kid in the thumbnail, so there's that. I don't think the little kids should be seeing that, right? We know, like, if you're in that position, you probably shouldn't be posting that because you're not an OnlyFans model. Then there's the live show. Her comment skit for her Colleen live show where her alter ego Miranda performs, from what I've seen, it's mostly children and teens going. I don't know what adult would enjoy this. But you know, like I said, maybe just not my type of humor, but at the show, Miranda asks for children, come up on stage, participate with me. It's not a one-woman show, it's a one-woman show with a child type show. And that's probably a kid's dream, to be on stage with the lipstick lady from YouTube. But so, one of her little bits, her stick, so she would pull the kid up on stage and they would go on a date together. That's normal, right? To pretend you're on a date with a little kid. Definitely mentally stable person there. So she would take this kid into the woods, but they needed a snack. The snack is in her pants and the kid has to reach into her pants to get it. That's the whole joke. And it's fine because it's a joke.
To hide our snack from the bears, we have to hide it in our clothes. So for example, what? There we go. And so now, watch this. We're on the date, James. It's really romantic. Oh, we're getting close and personal. Oh, but I'm so hungry, James. Hold on, I got a snack.
Was this in your self-help book?
Was this in my self-help book?
Was it? Because I brought self-help with me and I was just wondering.
Well, shouldn't you know if you've read it? I'm just kidding, James. I'm just kidding. I love you. I'm just kidding. Do you want a cheese ball?
I'd love them. I can't believe I'm reaching in there right now.
I have to tell you guys a really quick story really quick. So at the farmer's market, because my boyfriend and his mom had like a bakery, cookie bakery. That's how he got me to stay with them, because those cookies. But they had a cookie bakery and they would go to farmer's markets, and this old guy rolled up and purchased the cookie, and the mom said, oh, that'll be $5. And he goes, I got $5 in my front pocket, go ahead and reach for it. Horrifying. She basically did that to a child.
Want a cheese ball? Come on, Granny.
Girl, why? Why is that funny to you? So there's another one where she calls a teenage girl this time on stage, and she spreads her legs open for the kids in the audience and the dads and moms that brought their kids to see. Well, these kids are now growing up and they started to realize, wait a minute, that was weird. That was a weird thing to do.
Hi, okay, my name is Becky. I'm the girl in this video, and this video has over 1 million views, and that is a lot of people to be seeing this story without hearing it from me. Now, as soon as I stood up from the audience, I saw Colleen's eyes widen because she realized I was not wearing pants. But for some reason, that didn't stop her from continuing. In fact, no adult at any point stepped in. Point in the yoga challenge where I am laying down and Colleen is spreading my legs basically as far as she can. She spreads them so far that you can see the spandex I was wearing under my romper, which thank God I was wearing. Now, the original video posted by Xandar, I'm sorry if I pronounced her name wrong, is only a screenshot, but there is a whole video of this. But that screenshot is the most important because that is the moment I will never forget, where I was laying under Colleen and she was smirking down at me while thousands of people were laughing, and I was terrified that my body wasn't covered up enough by the spandex.
So I don't know how my comment section is doing right now because I haven't posted this video yet, but I personally think from what I've seen, most of my comments are gonna say, Colleen is weird and she's inappropriate. And what does that mean in 2023? Toxic. She's a toxic person. And so what do toxic people do? They migrate to other toxic people. Toxic Trisha. Now, I have said in the past that I think Trisha is just a big troll, literally. I have said in the past, why are you guys so upset at Trisha? She is a literal troll. She does this on purpose. But I do find it very interesting when I was looking in this story that Trisha, I guess, is a very big advocate for, you know, sexual abuse type things. And she tends to call out people like that. That's very good and everything, right? But it's very interesting that Trisha and Colleen do a podcast together.
Hey everyone, I'm Colleen Ballinger.
And I'm Trish Paytas.
I bet you didn't expect to see this.
The podcast is called Oversharing. They talk a lot about their thoughts, motherhood, etc., etc. But ever since all of this came out, all of the proof, I mean, there are so many messages of Colleen talking. Okay, wait, before we get to the toxic Trisha and the collaboration with these two. Colleen had a whole group with underage children, teenagers, called the Weenies.
I was a part of a group chat called the Weenies, and it had 23 members, including Colleen Ballinger and her sister-in-law, Jessica Ballinger. And it was basically made up of a lot of young fans, and I spoke about it in my video, but this was the group chat where all the infamous DMs have came from, and there's just a lot.
In the group chats filled with teenagers, they would converse as teens do, and Miss 30-year-old Colleen would ask for pictures. And yes, Adam said, my ass looks good today, but y'all, he's a teenager, and I don't think that's appropriate for a 30-year-old to request a picture of it. There's screenshots of Colleen saying she wants to have sleepovers with these children. Once again, she's 30 and these kids are like 13 to 16. Can you imagine if some 30-year-old dude was in here talking about let's have sleepovers with a bunch of 13 to 16-year-old kids? Okay, now that we got through that, let's get back to Toxic Trisha and their collaboration. After all of this came out, Trisha, who usually calls out people who does these type of things, apparently, I don't follow Trisha to know how much she calls out. Just looking into this, Trisha has been like an advocate for that. So I find it interesting that there is crickets on this topic. They are just going about their podcast as it is just nothing has happened. They're doing this, like what my dog does when I say, what did you do? What did you do here? Why did you rip this toilet paper up? Well, everyone's like, what did you do, Miranda? Why were you sending underwears to little kids? Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But Adam, the man that exposed her, was saying that Colleen, she's not a very nice person. In these group chats, or just to Adam specifically, I'm not too sure which one, but he would show the text that Colleen would screenshot certain things from Trisha's OnlyFans, and apparently Trisha would be doing some stuff on there with vegetables like in her butt, and she would screenshot those pictures and send it to the underage kid. He was 14.
Because she was doing this to multiple people, fans. And I said, Trisha, Colleen and I used to send your OnlyFans pictures and videos back and forth and make fun of how you looked. I was 15 and Colleen was in her 30s. This is a harsh tweet, and Trisha, I apologize. Again, I was 15 and she was 30 and I was following her lead, but again, I apologize. It was not nice. Someone goes, Trisha wasn't on OnlyFans 5 years ago. And I go, wrong. Specifically remember a picture of Trisha in her bathroom with her completely topless and we made fun of her nipples. So I think what was happening was Trisha had posted on Patreon or Twitter or some...
Miranda, just a question. Why would you send that to a child? Why would you do that at all? To your friend. She's not saying shit. She's not saying anything. She has nothing to say. Oh, something else that Adam brought up, which was just weird and made me feel icky, was in the group chat, the weenies. She requested that the children in the chat would send pictures of them putting tampons in their mouth.
I swear I'm not high.
She ended up messaging me on Snapchat and said, hey Adam, you weren't at the meet and greet. She was like, would you be able to go out and buy a tampon and take a picture so you're included in the picture that I think it was like Ella was making?
Yeah, so we can Photoshop you in. So
yeah, she asked me to do it.
With the tampon in our mouths, because that was the inside joke.
Yeah, she asked me to go out and buy tampons. And I was like 14 or 15. She asked me to go out and buy tampons to put one in my mouth. Yeah, and then we have the photo. Yeah, and I obviously didn't want to go out and buy them. So I remember I got a Q-tip and wrapped toilet roll around it. And that was me doing the photo because I didn't want to...
If that ain't the stupidest shit if that ain't the most predatory shit I ever heard, I don't know what is. When Adam first started talking to Colleen, Adam thought that she was the coolest 30-year-old ever. Girl, congrats. 14-year-old thought you were cool. But he thought in his 14-year-old head that this was fine, this was normal. And he's 14. A lot of 14-year-olds would think that if their YouTube idol was talking to them, it would be the best day ever. But she would talk about role playing, you know, things that she would do with her husband. She would talk about her divorce, ask for divorce, you know, relationship advice from a 14-year-old. What does a 14-year-old know about a divorce? The same as Jess Pearly thing. Yeah, we covered her. Link below. Well, anyway, so Colleen found something special in Adam. She thought that he was funny, he knew her humor, he knew everything about her, and she decided to hire him free of charge to just control, you know, help her with her bits, help her with her Twitter and everything like that. She even rewarded him with some panty. All right, back to this. That's him, y'all. From years ago, from that time period. Can you imagine sending a kid like that, I mean any kid, but look how young he looks, underwear? Now some folks online are saying, well, he asked her to do it. Y'all, I don't care what 14-year-old or anybody asked me for panties or to be my friend. I'm telling your mother. It's weird to be friends with a 14-year-old already, and then you move that to being friends online, it makes it even more suspicious. And then you're so comfortable with it, you're sending your unmentionables. She apologized and everything. She said, you know, it's just a joke, sorry about that. You know, it's a joke.
And I've always given out weird random things in live streams. I've given out a taco costume. I've given out old bobby pins.
A taco costume and a bobby pin is quite different than underwear. And I think a 30-year-old would know that. This is where the double standard hits when it comes to men versus women. Can y'all imagine if a 30-something-year-old old ass man decided to send his little whitey tighties to a 15, 14-year-old girl fan? Creepy, right? Yeah, they agree. I don't even have to look at the comments. Weird. Soon enough, he entered a deal that spiraled. He was told to take over her whole Twitter account with the promise of her going over whatever he decided to tweet. Eventually, she said that it will turn into a job. He had access to her Twitter for about 24 to 48 hours, and things went south fast.
In 2020, when Colleen Ballinger turned on me because of a tweet that I posted with approval about Meghan Trainor and Colleen Ballinger, Miranda Singh's character, with Miranda Singh coming out as a Meghan Trainor fan, Colleen Ballinger quickly turned to blame it on me.
So pretty much Adam constructed a tweet that said, guys, I'm gonna come out, something like that. And she came out as a Meghan Trainor fan. People got really mad at that. And I'm not sure why it got so much backlash. And why didn't the constant grape ones jokes didn't. I'm guessing her humor has always been on the edge, but okay. This was crossing the line, but Miranda decided to blame everything on 14-year-old Adam. And she said, you know what, Adam? It's not funny. How could you do this to me? And he was, 14-year-old Adam said, you approved it. So shortly after that, Adam was banished from Twitter, banished from the account, banished from her friendship, which very weird because she was saying how queer baiting, wasn't funny. Adam, you don't know, even though I approved it and I said it was funny, but she made a video about coming out to her parents that she was straight.
I'm gonna talk about my coming out story. Yes, it's true, I am dating a boy and I'm straight.
Isn't that queer baiting? Technically, when someone says I'm coming out, I usually think you're coming out of the closet. Pretty much she was making it seem that a 14-year-old, did this whole thing. For weeks now, Adam has been exposing all the receipts, text messages, emails, etc., and more people are coming out about Colleen and her odd love for younger people. In one of the videos I saw, Adam really wanted to be one of the boys that got pulled up on stage, and Colleen goes, no, you're too old for that. He's 14. She likes them young. Gross. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff, but I just wanted to make sure to get on here and spread it all out for people to see. More people to see, because more people, right? If this was a guy, we'd be up, we would be, you got me started. We would be doing a lot. Women can be predators too, and people need to know. And also, I wanted to make sure to say that this wasn't the first time that Adam came out showing, hello, this lady weird. But the first time he came out, a lot of people were like, psh, you clout chaser, you just want attention. You're trying to bring a woman down. 3 years later, he's not shutting up, and people are actually, a lot of her fan base have grown up, and now they're like, wait a minute, I'm sorry. You're right, that was really weird. It just reminds me of, when you're young and you just don't realize certain things. Because when I was younger, like I said, I looked older, and if you think older women were very mean to me because they were jealous for some reason. Why were they jealous? I didn't even know how to do my makeup. I dressed weird. Anyway, I went from Urkel to curvy, awkward girl. But if you think older women were mean to me, older men hit on me all the time. And it was so confusing because they knew that I was 12, 13, 14. And they would say certain things and you think, oh, that's a little weird, but probably not the biggest of deal. Then you finally fucking hit into your actual adulthood and you're like, wait a minute, you a whole ass pedophile. But that is the story of the creepiest YouTuber of 2023. Does the label fit? Does she get the award? I don't know. You have to tell me. But all I have to say is, yikes. I wanted to make sure to share this since my audience seems to be in their 30s. They probably have children that might watch her channel. You might be saying, let's go to the Miranda show. Okay, do you guys interested in this woman pulling your kid on stage, going on a pretend date with her into the woods, and then digging into the front region of her pants to get some Cheeto snacky snack? Does that sound like a good time to you? You let me know. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And of course, have a great day. Thank you everyone for being here. Not you. I'll see you guys next time.
Wake up, honey, I made you breakfast. Fresh coffee and bagels too. A new day is waiting for us. We got lots of fun stuff to do. Let's go to the zoo and feed the monkeys. I can lend them your baseball cap. Let's make the day a barrel of fun. Growing up is just a trap.